Why is it so hard to understand native speakers talking? They use too many slang and colloquial expressions that we don't know. So I go down the apples and pears, I get on the dog a bone, my mates lent me a monkey and I'm like, alright mate, you're a diamond geezer, but give me back my money, alright. They speak too quickly. You know, Johnny used to live in Islington. Yeah, no, not the old John, the new John. I went to school with him. Where to school with him? No, his brother's sister. No, his sister's mum. No, his dog. Yeah, that's right, his dog. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, I used to know him from back in the day when we were at school. We used to play football together, but then we don't play football anymore because I broke my leg, and then, you know, after I broke my leg, then I couldn't play football anymore. I started playing rugby. Rugby's a terrible game. I broke my shoulder on that one. It's difficult understanding native speakers when they are talking fluently at you. It's really hard. They speak so quickly and they use vocabulary that sometimes we don't know, we don't understand. It's not easy, guys. It's important for us to understand why people speak like this. Well, the main reason is that it's just easier, okay? It's easier for us to speak quickly and maybe swallowing some of the non-essential words. So in a sentence, I'm not going to say every word perfectly exactly the same because it takes me too long. The quickest and easiest way is for me to swallow some of those words, the less important words. Hopefully, through context, you'll still understand what I'm saying. Okay, before we go any further, let's do a test. I'm going to say a sentence in the most natural way possible, and I want you to tell me how many words are in that sentence. That's all you got to do. How many words are in this sentence? Okay, here we go. I'll have a pint of beer, please. I'll say it one more time. I'll have a pint of beer, please. How many words are in that sentence? I'll say it one more time. I'll have a pint of beer, please. Okay, how many? You sure? Are you sure you're sure? So let's have a look. I'll have a pint of beer, please. 8 words. Did you get that correct? Let's look at what I was doing there. I was using something called weak forms. And this is when we change the sound of a word to help us say it in a sentence. Let's look at an example. So I said a pint of beer. Pint of beer. Now, of, in its full form, of, it's very round, of sound. When I said it in the sentence, when it's in between those two words, it becomes of. Pint of beer. Pint of beer. Okay, so it's not pint of beer, it's pint of beer. Pint of beer. It almost blends in with that t sound at the end of pint. Pint of beer. A pint of beer. So that is a weak form. It's when the sound of a word changes when it's in the middle of a sentence. Typically, it's the smaller words that we use for weak forms. So it's things like prepositions, conjunctions, pronouns, articles. Okay, it's words like that. It's the smaller words. So we're going to look at a few examples today. So words that commonly get used in weak forms are, for example, and. So it's not fish and chips, it's fish and chips. Fish and chips. Or salt and pepper. Not salt and pepper, salt and pepper. Tea and coffee. Tea and coffee. Not tea and coffee, tea and coffee. So the and goes to fish and chips, tea and coffee, salt and pepper. For is another example. At the end of a sentence, we'll use it in its proper form. For, in its full form. So for. So who's that present for? And then when it's in between words, I would use the weak form. So it's for my brother. It's for my brother. So for in its full form, for as its weak form. A is a typical example of a word that becomes a weak form. In this sentence, listen for how it's done in the weak form. I've got a new phone. I've got a new phone. So how was it pronounced there? It wasn't I've got a new phone. It was I've got a new phone. I've got a new phone. So it goes from A to the schwa sound. Can is another great example. At the beginning of the sentence, we're going to use it in the full form. So, can your brother speak English? Can your brother speak English? Then when I'm using it in the middle of a sentence, I'm going to go to the weak form, which is can. So yes, he can speak a lot of languages. Yes, he can speak a lot of languages. So yes, he can speak a lot of languages. So full form, can, and then the weak form, can. Have also gets the weak form and the full form. So in this sentence, have you been to Spain? Have you been to Spain? You can see there that I'm using the weak form, have. Have you been to Spain? So it's not have you been to Spain, have you been to Spain? In the answer, yes I have. So we're using the full form there, yes I have. Okay, because it's important, it's a really important piece of information, yes I have. So we're using it in the full form, but in the question, have you been to Spain? I'm swallowing that sound, it's becoming a weak form. Let's do another test to see if you can recognize any of the words that we've looked at in their weak forms. So I'm going to say another sentence and I want you to tell me how many words are in that sentence. Remember, some of them will be weak forms. Okay, are you ready? I haven't had fish and chips for ages. I haven't had fish and chips for ages. Okay, how many words? Let's say it one more time. I haven't had fish and chips for ages. Okay, there were 9 words. Let's have a look. I haven't, so there's 3. 1, I have not. I haven't had fish and chips for ages. Means like a very long time. I haven't had fish and chips for ages. So which were the weak forms there? I haven't, so haven't was contracted. I haven't had fish and chips, so the and was contracted, and then for ages as well. There are 2 reasons why knowing about weak forms is useful for you and your English. Firstly, obviously, if you can use it in your English, in your spoken English, that is incredible and something that you should really try and work towards. However, I think more importantly, it is the best way, or one of the best ways, to understand native speakers, because they are using weak forms all the time. And if you can recognize some of those sounds, then you're going to be able to understand a lot more of what they say. Easily Dreamers, I want you to do 2 things for me. The first thing is, if you have found this useful, hit the like button and share it with anyone that you know who is learning English. Second thing I want you to do for me is to write in the comments below and tell me what is the hardest thing for you when it comes to listening in English, okay? Tell me what is the most difficult thing that you find when you are trying to understand and listen to native speakers. Tell me in the comments below, all right? I want to hear it from you guys. Thank you so much for watching another lesson with me, Tom, the English hipster. Until next time, guys, take it easy.